We are live on YouTube. It's the 219th episode of the Mina's House podcast. I'm Mina SayWhat. Sorry.
Dex Stuckey.
Wait, Shana, I missed your name. What?
Shana B. We gotta get it together today.
Right. Look, in my defense, it's my birthday week. That is my defense.
It's your birthday week. Yeah, it is your birthday week.
Yep. I am celebrating a birthday this week, and I'm going to make a really big announcement.
On your birthday?
Yes, on my birthday.
Okay.
Yep. So I'm excited. It's going to be very surprising. Every time I tell people, it's like the reaction that I get is like, what? I don't believe you. I'm like, damn. What do you mean? I get surprised faces. I get like, no, you're lying. I'm like, oh, wow.
Are you moving? You're leaving the city?
I am not.
Okay. Because usually that's what it be. People like, I'm leaving.
My life is moving, though.
I'm out of here.
My life is moving in a different direction. So I'll make a big announcement. I'll do the announcement on my birthday. I wanted to do it before, but I was waiting on these certain pictures to make the announcement, and I didn't get the pictures until like this weekend. Then I had to look through them and pick my favorite ones. It was a whole ordeal. And then I'm like, well, my birthday's coming up. I might as well just do it on my birthday.
Yeah, fair.
So, but because it is my birthday this week, that's going to be our topic later on. Let's hop into what's in our feed because there's a lot to get to. Megan Thee Stallion did an interview with Gayle King where she literally talked about getting shot by Tory Lanez. Now, we've heard a lot of the things that she said in the interview, but we also haven't heard some of the things. So some of the things we have heard are that Tory shot her and said, dance B. She explained why she lied to the cops, which she's explained before on Twitter. She said she was trying to protect them still because it was in the midst of all the craziness going on with the cops shooting people. And she was, kind of scared to interact with them. So that's why she told them she stepped on glass. We also learned more and saw, which I was surprised, the text message. So I've been hearing about this text message that confirms that he shot her, right? And I don't know if it was like, when I first heard it, it was like Tory had text Kelsey, who's a friend who was also in the car, or Kelsey had text Tory. It was like a rumor of there's a text message, like the smoking gun of this proves that this happened. We saw the text message on CBS where it's Kelsey texting Megan's bodyguard saying, help, Tory shot Megan. And then also Megan now is denying that there was a sexual relationship with Tory Lanez, which was new. We thought this whole time that they had something going on. Megan is saying they had nothing going on and that they were really just friends and were bonding off the shared mutual experience of losing a mother. I understand why she did that, why she did this interview. But then I don't understand why she did this interview right now. Dexter, I see your face already.
Because why you be doing this to me? You're gonna say they first off, Gayle. The one thing I will say, I thought that question was really inappropriate. I didn't think that was appropriate for Gayle King to ask her, were they having sex? What does that have to do with anything? Like, I just thought that was inappropriate, and I definitely don't want a cop to having sex with someone after I'm telling you that they shot me. Like, this is I didn't appreciate that. She had sex with him. Because there's not.
You know, you was in the bad, Dexter.
I'm gonna tell you something. There's not one woman who I would say, like, I can just go from my own personal experience. Oh wait, Garnet's coming. I'm gonna ask him about this too. Anytime you ask a woman, have you ever had sex with XYZ? It ain't no hesitation. If it's somebody that you ain't never touched or nothing like that, it's immediate. No, and I would never have sex with him. If it's somebody you don't want people to know, like it's a body you kind of want to erase, you don't want to lie, but you don't confirm it either. Megan was like, no, we ain't no.
I didn't interpret it that way, Dexter. She laughed. She laughed at the question.
No, I'm telling you.
She was like, a sexual? Like, it was almost like, what?
No, because she would have done.
We would look at you and be like, no. It's straight up did.
100% you would say no, because Mina, that's like me right now. If I said to you, did you have sex? And I name this person, you know that there's no way possible that it happened. You wouldn't laugh. You would immediately be like, don't put that on me. No, I didn't do that. That was a nervous laugh because she knows. Okay. Garnet, let me ask you.
As a woman, and I'm not saying I am, but women you'll be like, Shana, did you? And I might know idea. I'll be like, nope.
First of all, this is Gayle King.
And she laughed.
This is Gayle King, who's like your grandmother, right? This is your grandmother asking you on national TV, did you have sex with so-and-so? What? It was like, I would laugh and like just the shock of, did Gayle King just ask me what my body count is? I didn't think it was a laugh because she was lying. I thought it was a laugh at the uncomfortability of, did Gayle King really just ask me if I had sex with Tory Lanez? She's like my grandmother. And I think that's how I interpreted that. It was more so like shocking that Gayle King would ask her about who she had sex with.
Yeah.
Well, why would you be uncomfortable if you was already prepped for the interview? You already know the questions. These aren't blind questions.
That wasn't a prepped question, Garnet.
No, you don't.
Me being an interviewer, that wasn't a prepped question.
That's probably why she laughed, because it wasn't one of the questions that they were going to ask.
That was not a prepped question. If that was a prepped question, she would have had an answer ready to go. It was not. That was the question was probably, what is the nature of your relationship with Tory Lanez? That was the question on the prep sheet, me being an interviewer. But then she was like, Megan tried to dance around it, right? Because she was like, oh, we were friends. We were close. We were getting close. He lost his mother. I lost my mother. So I think that's when Gayle was like, wait a minute, but you're not answering the question. Right. So someone like me, I would have left it alone because I'm not trying to get in trouble. Right. Because Megan's people will call you and be like, we never interviewing you again because this is not part of what you put in the question. This is Gayle King. So she could ask whatever she wants. So her follow-up question was, did you have sex? Because she was running around the question. That's how I interpreted that. No. So yeah, I still think she had sex with him.
Oh, I still think she had sex with him. But I didn't disagree when Dex was saying that hesitation, because I think we just lie better.
So here's the thing. How about if their relationship was getting sexual, but she didn't have sex with him?
But that's not what she asked him though. She asked her. She
right,
said,
because say I let you go to what, third base, whatever the hell it's called. That means we didn't have sex, right? There was no penetration.
Right.
So say they were getting there, but they never had sex. That's valid for her to be like, no, we never had sex.
Maybe in her mind it didn't feel like sex too. You never know. Because that also happens when you can't count that. Like I cannot count that as a body. I can't.
I think that's like a sly way of doing it. But sure, we can give her the credit and say you guys did not have sex. But like the question was, did you guys have a sexual relationship? And if you know that there was something done, what you've done with him, you ain't do it with other guys, like your friends or whatever. And if you know you've done a little bit more with him than most people, I think you should have just confirmed it at that moment.
How about if they sleeping in the bed together but not touching?
No, that's not sex, but like they did something. Like they did do something.
I believe her. I'm gonna believe Megan.
I love Megan, but that was the one thing I just didn't believe.
Okay.
What you umming about? What you
Because I just wish she didn't do this interview. I didn't need this. I genuinely wish she didn't do this interview because
you were one of the people that kept saying she needed to say more, Dexter.
Right, yeah. And you were one of the people that thought that the case was over.
It is over.
And it's not. It's ongoing.
I'm telling you, that's why she's doing this interview. This case is over. It's done.
She's doing the interview because people literally still don't believe her, and it's like
that interview didn't help people believe you either. There are people still now, even more people saying like, "Oh, she sounds like she's lying," because like, it just wasn't necessary. Like, you know what the issue is? Like her before, I kept saying like Tory Lanez. He wants to be innocent in the court of public opinion. Like you can't care about that. You got to care about what's happening here. like the law. Megan is now falling into that same trap. She's more concerned now about the court of public opinion than she is the law. Why would you care if people don't believe you? Like, long as the judges believe, that's important. You are really getting on Twitter going crazy. Like, why y'all not believe me? I got shot. And it's just like, tell the judge that. Don't tell us on Twitter. Like, forget people on Twitter. People on Twitter are going to just say whatever just because they can. Focus on the court case.
Well, it's both of them. I don't think you're wrong at all, but I do think it's both of them because they're using some of the internet evidence like inside of the courtroom. So, if you want to try to, I guess, clear up your name, you could like subtweet about something. Oh, look, I tweeted this. I've always been standing on this or standing on that. So I do believe that it's both of them for both of them, for Meg and for Tory Lanez, just as far as like, everything, especially with the court, is image. You have to try to raise reasonable doubt. You have to, get people on your side, even if it's not the people that, that's on the internet, but it's the people inside of the courtrooms that they're going to see this. They're going to watch this. This is going to be presented as evidence. So, I understand why she did it. Did I personally need it? No, but I understand why you do it. Same reason why did R. Kelly sit down with Gayle King? It's like, it's to try to make him, present his case in a better light, so.
What we're also not considering? We're not considering what she may be going through right now. Like, we don't see the extent of how this is affecting her life, right? We're not seeing the mentions. We're not in the business meetings. We don't know how bad this is affecting her. I agree. I think you have legitimate evidence. I mean, that text message alone is condemning, So it's like you have legitimate evidence that will be used in the trial. And it's like, I think for her to leak the evidence prematurely, I don't understand why someone would allow her to do this. But again, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes where maybe she felt like she had to do this. There's a reason why she did this. We don't know the reason, right, but there's a reason why. And we don't know internally what's going on. But again, to your point, Gernet, a lot of what's going on social media is being used in court, to establish credibility. Like, if Tory Lanez is saying, no, this never happened on social media, and then she can prove that it did, it calls his character into question. Mm-hmm. Well, publicly you said this, but we have evidence to the contrary. So you're a liar based off this piece of evidence. So that kind of just, in the eyes of the law, okay, if you're going to lie about this, you're lying about everything.
I'm sure they did probably already get their text messages and got subpoenas for their phone records and all that stuff. And probably, it's weird how court happens because some stuff they can present, some stuff they can't, even though they get, warrants for your phone. So who knows all of the stuff that they probably have that we can't even see that, could have gone back and forth, even between Meg and Tory, that maybe she can't say that, but this is what she could show because that might be too damning or whatever. But I was going to say the biggest thing that does just make me upset with this situation and has always is this like, and she might feel like this, like, why do I have to prove that this man did this to me? I just feel like, again, as women, like, why do we have to go through so great lengths for people to understand that, like, somebody, he shot her, like, beyond abuse, beyond, like, he shot her, he could have killed her, he could have hit her iliac nerve in her foot and she could have bled out. And it's like, but so would y'all have rather me died and then be like, Dad, I can't believe he did that. But yet, and so these people are like, she lying, she this, she that. It's like, why do I have to go through so much for people to believe that this man would do this to this woman?
Well, that's something, I mean, the pendulum swings both ways on that. Like, you have to prove that because that's such a damning thing, right? And, you can't just say something and just think that, oh, we should necessarily believe you. It's not that we're not addressing that you didn't get hurt or saying that it's fake. But, this is somebody, it happens all the time when, people get accused of rape. It's like, well, if that person really didn't do it, you know what happens. That person gets sent to jail and they're innocent and you can't get that time back. Their career gets ruined. They get this put on your name. So even in this case too, it's such a horrific thing, like you're saying, where it's like, yeah, we wish we could just, say, yes, we believe you, but it also has to go through the courts because we have to be able to know that, because once we say this, it's going to be damning for him. And if it's not him and if it's somebody else, then, we have to look at you a certain way. But then we also have to look at this person that actually did it. Where it's like, damn, you really shot her. So I don't think it's, why do I have to prove myself so much? Where it's like, you just do, because you can't just say things, and maybe not her, maybe she's not lying, right? But there are people out there that will lie about this, and who knows the real reason why. This happens every day. Someone gets, falsely accused of something, and then no one cares about it.
But she's not the one that pressed the charges in this situation. And that's why I guess I'm saying, like, she's not the victim that came forward right away to Dexter's dismay. It was more the police. And again, I've had friends in different situations where sometimes if the police see enough evidence, they'll say like, okay, well, we're moving forward.
Right.
Like, we do want you to come on. We need you. That will help the case, but we're moving forward, which is kind of what happened in this case. It wasn't even like she was trying to really put this on him more than the police were going after what happened.
Okay.
But I also think that it kind of drives me a little crazy how people are like, well, Tory didn't shoot her. But then when you ask the follow-up question, well, who shot her? Then there's like, nothing. Oh, I don't know. It's like, okay, someone shot the woman. Okay. If anyone at this point is saying she didn't get shot, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you. You were dropped. The sun's not right up there. This woman was shot. Okay. She has bullet wounds. She showed us the bullet wounds. Remember the picture where we was like, we ain't have to see that. There's fragments in her foot, like there's a medical sheet that says she has fragments in her foot from being shot. The woman was shot, right? So this is what drives me crazy about the court of public opinion. I literally just had this conversation with someone who was like, Tory didn't shoot her. His fingerprints weren't on the gun. I said, okay, then who shot her? There were 4 people in the car. Her, Tory, Kelsey, and the bodyguard. Who shot her? Nobody is saying the bodyguard, right? Okay. People are saying Kelsey. Okay, let's go with the Kelsey narrative. She literally has a text message the minute this happened, texting her bodyguard, Megan's bodyguard, saying Tory shot Meg.
I don't.
Who's left? But wait, is his gun? He had the gun. It's his gun. It's like it was unregistered. First of all, why your bodyguard doesn't have the gun and you have the gun is a whole different question. But it's like, let's follow the narrative. Okay, you say he ain't do it. Who did it then? Because the woman got shot.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, well, I'm not saying that people don't think that she didn't get shot. I think it's proof that she got shot. I think we saw that. We did see it. We didn't need to, but we did see the fact that she got shot. I think, though, that a lot of people's question is, why did it happen, right? Because, like, when you really think
does it matter? She got shot.
Like, but it does matter. It
doesn't matter what happened. She was unarmed. She had no gun, no knife. It doesn't matter what happened in the car. They literally could have been fucking. And they literally could have been having sex. And Tory cheated on her and had a threesome and had a baby on her. It doesn't matter what happened. Nothing warrants you getting shot at.
But what I'm saying, like, it does matter. It always matters what leads up to a situation. So the way that this is being painted out is that she, for whatever reason, got out of the car and then he just started to shoot at her feet. That's what she told us. Like, that's the reason. That's whatever. We don't know that. Like, what if she pulled the gun out of the glove compartment and tried to shoot at him with it and they tussled over the gun? Like, we just don't know these things. And I feel like we're like jumping to like what she's saying. And honestly, what she's saying, it doesn't make sense. It really doesn't seem very rational for a person. I don't care how drunk or high you are, for a person to make somebody get out of the car and just start shooting at their feet. Like, there's just really irrational behavior. It just doesn't add up and it doesn't make sense. If we're really following this narrative,
it's very rational for a little man.
Wait, real quick, because I was trying to make this point, but I thought it was hilarious when Megan said that Tori was standing up over the driver's seat.
I was like, wait, did she say he was just standing up over the driver's seat? And I started picturing in my head, like, oh, because it was like an SUV to like a Yukon or Tahoe, and he little.
No, I imagine him on his knees on
the seat,
on the seat, like dance, dance, like a little leprechaun. I literally had the same image in my head.
Maybe they didn't have sex, and maybe that's why he was so mad, because for him to say that, and again, we know that there are witnesses that, and people in that neighborhood ain't trying to be involved, that came forward and said they heard a man saying that to her. So she's not just making that part up. So now that I think about it, maybe he did have a little aggression because he was mad that she wasn't giving it up to him.
No, I think what happened was he was probably trying to shoot at the ground to scare her, right? Because it's like, if you're gonna shoot at somebody, and you, first of all, she tall as hell. She tall. I've been around her, okay? So for him to be out the window of the Tahoe, they're at the same length. Right? So if he wanted to shoot her and hurt her, he would have pointed straight. Okay, they had to be at eye length, right? Because picture it. I hope the lawyer points this out, okay? Because he's literally facing her. So if he wanted to hurt her, he would have shot straight. I think the whole point was to scare her when you're shooting down, but he probably didn't think it was going to ricochet and hit her, which is probably what happened.
Right.
Well, this is why, going back to what Dex is saying, is like context and motive, like the story actually does matter, because it has to be said out loud. Maybe not to us. Hopefully afterwards we'll get the real story at the end of it. But things have to occur in order for that to happen. Most people just isn't a gun, or not unless it's truly an accident. But then you would say, well, this is what happened. We were having fun. He got the jumping up and down. The gun was off safety. It hit the ground and it went off. Boom, I got hit in the foot. But it has to be some type of context. Why was he mad? Like, are you going to tell the truth why he was upset? Was it a sexual thing? Was your relationship more to friendship to have him be upset? Like, it does have to make sense to maybe not us, right? But in the court, in order for them to be like, well, like, what is it? Because
I don't think you can make sense of crazy.
I've been in court and I've been in trial with people who have been trial and murder, and sometimes you never get the full story. You only get the result.
No, right.
But here's the thing.
You don't get the full story. So the actual story doesn't matter. The result is what we're looking at.
Right. The action of, because if they were tussling in the car, that would have been the story. No, the story is she's outside of the car walking away, right? She's outside, he's inside of the car. There's a clear barrier between both of them, right? So this is not them fighting over the gun and they went off and she in the car. No, she didn't get shot in the car. It's clear. He was in the car. She was outside of the car. So regardless of what the argument was about, regardless of about what led up to it, they were no longer in the same area. They were not touching each other. She was actually leaving the car, right? So that's really why I feel like our need to know what made him do this. He could have just been crazy and drunk and high off PCP and literally not, in his right mind. He could have popped 10 pills and not in his right mind, and we don't know that. I mean, the point is, she was outside, he was inside. There was a barrier between them, which is a door. All right, he didn't have the door open. The door was closed. So someone had to pull down the window of the door of the car and come out. And then he had to climb from where he was over to the other side, right? And get on his knees and shoot at her. Come on, guys.
Well, no, and like I said, both of you make a point too. I'm just saying, in order for it to be a more clear-cut case, like, this is why it's not clear-cut, because no one can understand like why this happened. If both sides were presenting, I guess, the truth and the full truth, then it's a pretty clear-cut case. Hey, this person was upset because of this. Hey, he fired this, but they're somewhere in between. Both sides are withholding information for whatever reason.
And here's the thing. Think about it, right? For her to get out the car, he has to be on the other side of her, right? Is that right or not? Wait, right? If she's in the passenger side, he's either in the driver's side, or if she's in the back, he's next to her, right? So she decides to leave, opens the car, leaves, shut the door, right? There was nothing, the door was open. She shut the door. The door is shut. He got to come from the other side of the car over to her side.
And she stood there. And
to shoot her.
And she stood there.
No, she's walking away.
Walking away.
So like think about that. That's why it's like people form this narrative of like, well, maybe they were fighting or maybe she pulled out the gun. It's like they come up with 1,000 things, and it's like the fact is she was outside of the vehicle walking away. The door was closed. Mm-hmm. So he had to come from the other side of the car and he had to pull the window down to shoot at her outside of the car. Because of that, the time frame that it takes to do that, it doesn't matter what was going on in the car. They could have been fucking each other up.
Right.
It doesn't. I'm sorry. They could have been fighting, fist fighting. It doesn't warrant him shooting at her because it's not the same level of a threat. She doesn't have a knife. She doesn't have a gun. She's an unarmed woman walking away.
Right. And again, when the witnesses saw her, she was running in their driveway and he was still at the car. But I was going to say, to your point, Garnet, though, but we know that people do crimes and then get convicted on circumstantial evidence, because sometimes you don't have the hard evidence. Right. I do think, to Mina's point, like when we really do think about it, I don't think he intended to shoot her, but the reality is he did. Like, I don't think that was his intent. Like,
right.
I'm going to shoot this girl. I'm going to hurt her. I'm going to kill her. He was probably angry and wanted to scare her and threaten her or feel whatever. But be careful what you ask for, what you do.
Because if you wanted to shoot her, the bullet hole would have been higher. That's you want to talk about rationale. There's no rationale there. You know, he shot down because he's probably trying to scare her. But then you can't just shoot out in the air. You don't know where that bullet's gonna go, if it's gonna ricochet. You know, so that's why I think he's denying this, because it wasn't like, oh, I had an intent to shoot Megan. You know, but your actions, you have consequences for your actions. You do something stupid, high off drugs. We don't know if he was high off drugs, but we don't know what his state of mind was. Did they get, were they tested? Were any of them tested?
If he was high off drugs, he sobered up quick when he shot her, because he said, I'll pay you $1 million.
Right. That was another thing. Right.
Yeah,
and I believe that.
He was trying to scare her, and he got scared when he realized what he did.
Right.
And that's why y'all kids, and I'm going to say y'all kids need to be out and stop playing with these guns, because you out here thinking you're a little gangster and probably ain't even shot no gun before, but nowhere at a range, and then you shooting at this girl.
Yo, let me tell y'all a crazy story. I was in high school, right? And this is why I know some people just crazy for no reason. I was in high school and we went to this boy's house. You know how sometimes you cut class and you go to, someone's house or whatever?
No, we don't know how sometimes you just cut class. We show up.
So I cut photography. I was getting an A. It wasn't a big deal. I wasn't going to cut a real class, okay? I did good at school. So it's like, we're at this boy's house and this boy pulls out a gun for no reason. And I'm scared, right? I'm not intrigued by a gun. I live in the hood. Guns are not good things. This guy pulls out a gun and starts showing it to us and like waving it around like he think he in belly or something, right? So I'm like, what is going on with this guy? So I said, hey, can you put the gun away? And he was like, why? And I was like, because there's no reason for you to pull out a gun right now. Like, we're all here hanging out. He was like, well, why, are you scared? And I'm like, well, you have a gun. I'm like, you're making me feel uncomfortable. And he was like, but you're scared. And I was like, and I don't know why I don't know why. I'm young. It was like, I didn't want to answer the question, but I'm like, it doesn't matter if I'm scared or not. I'm like, why are you pulling out a gun? It makes no sense. This boy pointed the gun at me for no reason. Like to my head, like, oh, what are you scared? It was like, I felt like he wanted me to say I was scared. And it was like, I don't know why, I didn't say I was scared. But for me, I remember just saying like, it doesn't matter if I'm scared or not. Why would you put out a gun? That makes no sense. Like, put it away. It's not safe. You're making me uncomfortable. And it's like, this guy pulled like literally. And then I was so scared. And then he put the gun down. And I just left the house. And it's like, I always use that story as I don't know what is going on in people's brains, but some people just are not right up there. And I don't know if his intent on pulling out the gun was to elicit fear, because he kept saying, are you scared? Are you scared? Are you scared? But what kind of man pulls out a gun to elicit fear in a teenage girl? Like, what is wrong with you, bruh? Who dropped you? So it's like, there are people who literally, I don't know, they feel a certain way inside of their body, and they want to make other people feel scared, or they want to intimidate other people, or maybe they want to show off. And he thought, we would think he was cool because he had a gun. I didn't think you was cool because you had a gun. I thought you were a loser and I wanted to leave your house.
Yeah, it's sad to say that, there are somebody else, maybe not you, but somebody else thought that was like cool points, and he was used to that, or he wanted to show, his bravado. Yo, I got this gun. Like, look, like I'm out here living all of these raps that my favorite rappers are saying. And, but, to go to your point on maybe why you wasn't able to say just an outright no, because there could have been backlash just from where we come from, right? Like, we're not allowed to show real fear. We're supposed to be used to things like this, where, they're going to question, well, you must not be from such and such if you never had a gun around, or but it's like, bro, like nobody's trying to be around that. And I mean, go ahead, Dexter.
In those situations, if somebody pulls a gun down, they pulling the gun on you, and they say, "Are you scared?" and you say yes or no,
it gets worse.
Like, would make you like the person dance. I mean, come on, like,
right. Hello. That's really why I think this case just infuriates me, because it's like, I can't explain to you why that man pulled out a gun. We didn't have an argument. It wasn't hostile. He just pulled out a gun, and I don't know what's going on inside of his little mind, or why he feels like a gun, he needed to do this, but it was not hostile at all.
Yeah.
And people are just crazy.
Nothing is funny about it, but have y'all ever seen the original Sparkle?
No.
Okay, so Sad and Struthers, because Sad and Struthers was played by Mike Epps in the remake, but in Sparkle is a part where, again, she's like in an abusive relationship and she don't realize it. And he says, I want you to crawl for me. And she says, crawl. And she starts laughing and he starts beating her like, crawl, beat, crawl, crawl, beat, crawl. So when I heard that, and every time I hear it, that's why I keep laughing, because I keep replaying that Sparkle scene. Like, I thought Tory Lanez was up there thinking he was Sad and Struthers from Sparkle or something. I ain't Turner up in here. Ain't nobody scared of you.
It's I don't know, man. People are, I don't know. You're absolutely right. Some things you just can't explain why.
Right. You think you know these people and you don't know what's going on in their crazy ass brain. So if this woman is literally saying, if this woman is literally saying, this crazy ass dude, I was walking away from the car, he shot me, I'm gonna believe her. I'm not gonna be like, well, why would he shoot you, Megan? What did you do? Like, what? No, some people are just crazy.
2 witnesses, 2 random, white people in their houses, minding their business, who have come forward and their stories match Megan's story. That's all I'm saying.
All right, moving on. Rihanna's baby shower was apparently canceled because her man got locked up. I really feel so bad for her. She's literally about to have a tourist baby. Hopefully it comes out on my birthday. And her man's locked up. There's rumors that he's cheating. Apparently she's been hysterical. I'm kind of annoyed that they didn't do this back in November when this all allegedly went down. You wait till the weeks before our sis is about to have a baby to lock him up. Yes, to lock him up in front of her. Like, how traumatic is that? She's pregnant. She could have had the baby right there on the runway and it would have been the police's fault because y'all stressing out our sis. But hopefully everything is okay. When you guys saw this, what did you think about this story?
I just feel bad. I mean, again, she's just going through a lot. I did think the same thing at the time. It was weird, and all the conspiracy theories was like, they don't want him to be there when Rihanna had a baby. But then I did realize, and going through cases, and I know I watch all the Oxygen all the time, it does sometimes take time, just like in this Meg Tory, for them to have sufficient evidence to arrest somebody, because sometimes if they just arrest him, he could have got off. So that could have happened in this case. But I have more questions for ASAP, like, why were you doing this? Why during this time, I don't know, like, you had to have known, like, he knew that the police were close to this. That wasn't like, that's not a thing you don't know as a suspect in a case. So he had to have known. And I guess I don't know, it's nothing you could do. She's pregnant, but I just wanted something to be more like sheltered and cared for her. Because it's just it's a beautiful time. And it's like the end of her pregnancy. The beginning, we were all celebrating. It was so beautiful. And the end of her pregnancy just being like marred by all these like crazy things. So I just really pray for her. I hope that, they have a smooth delivery. Everything's okay. I mean, the baby shower for her probably wasn't more about gifts than for everybody to come forward and just celebrate her. So I hope they're still able to do something, maybe with not as many people, because I'm sure it was going to be star-studded, but maybe something like with her family, his family, something small, and they can come together and still celebrate the baby. But Riri, we love you.
Yo, you don't want everybody asking you about him getting locked up at the baby shower. That's so damn embarrassing. Like she was like, no, we canceling this baby shower. Y'all not about to be in my business. Wait a minute. And it was mad dramatic. They broke down his door. Like, y'all know he ain't there. You seen his pictures in Barbados. Why y'all had to break down his door to get evidence? It was the most dramatic thing. And I really think they're just trying to ruin our sister's pregnancy.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, of course you got to worry about the health of her and the baby, because that's most important. Shane, I'm not sure, if this is true. Like, well, yeah, why the hell were you doing this? Like, like where were you at? Who were you with? Who said what's?
And, they said someone in his crew snitched.
We don't. That's what all crews do. There's always people in the crew that snitch. It's like, this is just repetitive history.
They're like, he got this girl pregnant, so he ain't hanging out with us no more. He want to be in Barbados. Call the cops. Call the cops on him.
Yeah, we don't know. I mean, and if this is true, once again, going back to the last story, why is the superstar the one with the like? Why do you have to feel the need to be super gangster? Like, what's going on? Like, where is your security guard? Where's your the guy that you keep around for things like this? Like, why do we have to feel like we still got to fight this battle to prove something? Where it's like, we believe you was tough already, Rocky. Like, we believe that when you came up, all you did was fight. You explained your story being locked up. No one Casanova in jail. Like he went along with your story. Like it's nothing else to prove. You're stamped. Like, now it's time to continue to move away from that. And this is when you start being around better people and better energy. But like I said, who knows if it's true? We don't know. We'll figure that out later. But if it is, we just got to start making better decisions as like the people in power. Like, what the hell are you doing? Right. Why? So
yeah. That's my problem. When I realized the alleged date that he allegedly did this, I was like, so you knew she was pregnant. What was you going around allegedly doing stuff like this for?
Yeah, what was that conversation like going home? Because you had to say something. You had to be like, damn, babe, I shot somebody. What? Like, can you imagine telling Rihanna you shot somebody?
You think he would tell her? I don't think he would tell her. It's your pregnant girlfriend. You're not gonna tell her you shot somebody at the airport, allegedly. Wait, what?
I think he came home and slipped in the bed like, how was your day today? You're not telling the billionaire,
right,
that you just was walking down the street.
No, in fact, that was the day that he got her pregnant, because he said, I'm gonna go away for a very long time and I need you to wait for me. So you know what? Turn over.
That's terrible, guys. This poor woman. I don't think he told her, because if he would have told her, she would have made it go away. She's Rihanna. All that little evidence that they found in his house, she would have cleaned all that. She would have hired a private, she would have hired someone to handle it.
Olivia Pope kind of
right.
Get that situation
Go fix
handled.
This. Okay. Well, Lil Durk shut down the Neiman Marcus for his fiancé India. Literally, she went on a shopping spree. He had a DJ. They had dinner there. It was very cute. She spent like over $100,000. She got Chanel, all kinds of stuff. What is going on with you,
Yeah,
Garnet? Why are you
that's a
throwing up?
lot of freaking money to be spending. That is like, that's
He's
disgusting.
rich.
That's disgusting.
He's rich.
I'm trying to figure out how he was that rich, and I don't mean no shade.
Shut up. He put out a project with Lil Baby and he went on tour.
Okay, because I mean, he did do this for her birthday, but I feel like they're always showing these extravagant things he's doing for her. So it just seemed like a lot of money, a lot. I mean, go ahead, sis, live your life. Let them do that for you, but that's a lot.
The hood loves Lil Durk. He has to be getting the money. I just hope that he's investing it on the other end.
Yeah, them Chanel bags. I mean, and again, because every time I see them on social media, it is him doing something extravagant for her, which again is beautiful to show your love. But to your point, I just hope that she's investing in some things instead of just Chanel bags and everything. And I'm sure he's doing the same, which is why he can buy out Neiman Marcus for the night like it's a private event and spend $100,000.
Yeah,
which is why Neiman Marcus said okay, because they knew he was going to cut that check. That's worth us closing the store an hour early for you to just shop.
Free promotion.
So I bought that up because my birthday is this week. And I think that's I'm not suggesting anybody shut down the Neiman Marcus for me.
I'm about to say, when we shutting down? Forever 21, shut it down.
You gonna bring me to Forever 21? Damn.
Shut it down.
At least Nordstrom Rack. So I wanted to know the sweetest thing someone has done for you for your birthday. It doesn't have to be that extravagant or that expensive, but it's thoughtful to say, instead of giving her money and say, go shopping, right? He was like, let me shut it down. She had a personal stylist there. They had dinner there. It was thoughtful. It was different. They had decorated. There's some planning that went into this, which is better than, here's money, or, hey, I bought you a car. He planned this out. Or someone planned it. Maybe it wasn't him, but he paid someone to plan it, but something happened. So what's the sweetest thing that someone has done for you for your birthday?
A surprise party, buy me a cake. I'm very simple.
Damn, that's the sweetest thing.
The cake had like my own picture on it. It was dope. It was dope.
You need to get yourself better girlfriends, Garnet.
Yeah, that's all. I don't ask for anything, so to me, it's fine. Like, we don't have to do anything. Like, I'm cool. Like, usually my birthday parties is bowling. Like, I'll chill. So, and I don't really expect anything from anybody. I'm really not a cake person, and I say that. So to me, that's like a gift as well. Because the cake isn't for me. But it's the thought that counts. Trying to get my friends together for a surprise party. So that was nice too. But yeah, nothing too crazy. Other than that, like it'll make me feel weird. I'm bad at accepting things like that, so like I would feel like kind of weird. But yeah, those are the things that's cool to me, is like stuff like that. So boring, I know, but.
For me, the sweetest thing, I'm gonna have to actually give it to my mom. And I only remember, it's hard for me to even think about it because I'm a birthday zilla, so I do so much. So for my birthdays, that people do stuff for me I'm not saying it's not sweet, but I like plan my own birthday stuff, and it'd be so over the top that it's like, oh, she gotta have 3 events. So it's like, what they gonna do? But anyway, I say my mom, and the only reason why I say that is not because she gave me a surprise party last year. I was supposed to go to Paris for my 40th, but obviously we were in COVID. And the day after the surprise party, her and my niece and my sister, they gave me a surprise game night, family game night, and it had all these like Parisian like decorations. And I just thought that was really sweet because I'm like, they knew how much like I really wanted to go, so even though it was like a little balloon, just little cups, it was just the thought of like knowing that was important to me for my birthday. Although my niece kept playing me the whole time, like, oh, you having fun in fake Paris? You see your fake Paris? I was like, okay, call it fake Paris again. So I just thought that was sweet because it's like, I always think of those little things like for people. So that was like a little thing that I just thought was really, really touching to me.
I guess I have 3.
Damn.
It's all the same person though that gave them to me. Like my now wife. Like
I was gonna say, damn, is it your wife?
I don't remember.
No, it was my ex.
I don't remember what year this was, but one year, like I started getting back into watching wrestling, and I was really into it. And I was like, I really love this again, because I watched when I was younger. And the show came around my birthday, and she took me and gave me floor seats to the Royal Rumble, like for like my birthday, which was amazing. Then another year, my 30th, she planned this surprise with my friends, and they took me to Vegas. Like she paid like, it was like a surprise trip. She gave it to me for Christmas for my birthday. And it was like a guy's trip to Vegas. And she did it like with a hangover theme, which is one of my favorite movies. It was incredible. I love that one.
Hold on. She paid for you to cheat, Dex?
But you know what's crazy though? You know what's wild about that? That trip, literally the very first day that we got there is when I told my friend, I was like, I'm gonna marry her. Like that was that trip. Like that was that first day.
Oh, that's all we gotta do? Pay for y'all to go to Vegas?
Let me go trip to Vegas for him.
And then the final one was this past birthday this year. So like my mom died when I was younger, so she wasn't at my wedding. So my wife had a picture of me at the wedding, and then like my mom put together. So like I have that now, which was like, that's like the best gift I've ever gotten in my life, honestly.
Oh, she's good.
Yeah.
I gotta call sis up for some ideas.
Right, she doing it.
Right. I would for me it was my ex, and there's like an ongoing joke in my family because I had my birthday at Chuck E. Cheese every year until I was like 12. And you know, like you have no business having your birthday at Chuck E. Cheese at 12. Like you too grown, okay? Chucky come out, start doing a dance. I know they shut down a whole bunch of Chuck E. Cheeses, so I don't even know if they do this, but that was like, you know, me and my cousins, you know, we would make fun. They would make fun of me. And this guy was we were together long enough for him to know that this is like an ongoing joke with me and my family. Oh, Mina had her birthday every year for Chuck E. Cheese. So on one of my birthdays, he surprised me and had a birthday for me at Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh, that's cute.
I was a grown ass woman in my 20s. I was sitting on the little table. They brought the cake out. Chucky came out and did his dance, and then he gave me tokens, and we went to go play.
That's hard.
I like that.
Yeah, that's hard.
And it was like he had invited all my cousins. It was like us doing what we were doing as kids, as adults.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't think anybody has ever matched that, you know. It was just, again, I think the best things are the thoughtful things, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be like you spend a whole bunch of money, you know. To my point about Durk, it's like he thought this out. It wasn't like, here, go buy Chanel. Right. It's like there was a step more when there was some thought behind it. So
let's touch on that Chuck E. Cheese thing. I ain't mad at you for having your party at 12, especially if you love pizza. Because Chuck E. Cheese pizza was all that. So yeah,
can you talk about that, please? Because I've been trying to tell people.
I've never had it before.
What?
Yeah, I've never had Chuck E. Cheese pizza
because you're gonna be very disappointed. So don't have it now. But back in the day,
wait, it's not good anymore?
It's horrible. It's not even.
No, don't say that to me.
Yeah, it's not even. You know the Celeste that they sell for $1. It ain't even on Celeste level. It's really bad.
That's a major drop off. Yeah, that is disappointing to know.
Celeste is not that bad. Don't do that to the dollar store pizza.
Nah, it's. I mean, it serves its purpose, but it's like Chuck E. Cheese pizza was like world renowned. Like
not world renowned.
Yeah.
Parents would be like, yeah, let's go, because they just wanted some of the pizza.
Why wouldn't you? Feed all the kids. You know, pizza's mad inexpensive and it's good. Oh yeah, let's double down. Let's get all the pizza y'all want. Y'all get out of my face, run around, do your thing. Like I had some of my best times at Chuck E. Cheese, honestly. Dex, where's your friends at? Like, how come your friends wasn't?
I don't think I've ever. It's weird because I don't even think I've ever eaten food at Chuck E. Cheese before.
No. Look, they be serving salad with pizza.
Yeah. And then, new, like that's a newer thing, right? They weren't always.
I'm old. I'm not that. I'm not young, sir. I'm not a spring chicken. I'm over 30.
They didn't have wings back in the day, but now they be having wings.
I didn't even know they had pizza.
But I wouldn't even eat it because the pizza, like I said, is.
I don't know. I gotta try the pizza. I don't believe y'all.
I tried it in 3 different states, so that's why I'm just telling you, it's not. That's when I was like, oh, y'all ship this out because this is the same formula and it's not good.
Listen, their pizza was so good, Dex. I was probably like 22, 23 years old. This is long ago, but not that long ago. One of our boys, my boy's Els, this is when his son may have been like 3 years old. Me and my boy Mike was like going to like steal his son for a couple hours to have an excuse to go to Chuck E. Cheese and get pizza. Like that's how good that is. Like,
what are y'all doing on Saturday night? Let's go get Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
Shana like,
I'm down.
Listen, we can probably Grubhub that. We ain't gotta be there.
It's the experience. You go Grubhub me.
So what's the thing where you gotta like bowl it and it go? That's what it is.
Yep.
I'm probably super nice at that now. Growing up, I was super good.
All right, I'm gonna send the invite and we'll see if we can all go to Chuck E. Cheese on Saturday.
I'll go.
All right.
And I gotta get it.
You said you gotta get a haircut.
I gotta look cute for Chucky.
Now to Mina's point, and that was pre-pandemic, the Chucky dances has started going down. My niece is 26 now, and she had a couple parties at Chuck E. Cheese. And by the time I was there, so 2018, they wasn't even doing all that they used to do.
They used to do a dance.
And then Chucky would come out. This is because, let me tell you, sorry, it ain't no young kids listening. This is the laziness of the workers. Because Chucky would get in that suit, come out, dance all around. I went to 2 birthday parties in 2018 where Chucky like stood at the door and was like, I'm like, what are you supposed to come in with the kids? Like,
this is another thing though. Y'all don't have the same Chuck E. Cheese that I had. Look, mine, it doesn't look like what y'all's look like. Y'all's guy is like on speed or something. Like he's real skinny. Mine didn't look like that.
What do you mean an actual character?
It depends on who's in it.
No, Chucky doesn't look the same. Like my Chucky, like when I went to go see Chuck E. Cheese back in the day, they didn't sell pizza, and it was him. It was a girl with like a purple dress.
They always sold pizza.
Grimace and a dog. That's who was there when I went to go see Chucky. Now this is like his son or something. Like it's not the same Chucky.
We gonna go on Saturday and compare and contrast. Okay, that's what we doing.
Right. Chuck E. Cheese sell alcohol now?
Okay.
If so, count me in.
Down.
All right. I'll send y'all an invite. That's the 219th episode of the Mina's House podcast. I'm Mina SayWhat.
I'm Shana B.
Garnet Briscoe.
Dexter Stuckey.